Dr. Olushola Coker Ministries presents 13 Things That Are Delaying Your Financial Breakthrough. Do you observe that a lot of Christians are poor? In a congregation of 5,000 people, hardly could you see 100 that are rich. A few members are on the average, while majority of members could not break through financially despite vigorous fasting and praying. I am happy to inform you that I have been able to identify 13 things you do almost every day that is delaying your financial breakthrough. If you want to become rich as Christians, watch out. There are 13 things to avoid if you want to become wealthy, and all of them are found right where you live, in your everyday routines. A lot of Christians struggle financially and they think to themselves, oh, you know what? I cannot become rich because I don't have enough money. Or I don't have enough capital. I don't have the right ideas. Or I'm not in the right industry. Or I don't have the right connections. But you know what? From my experience, that's not what holds most people back. What holds most Christians back is 13 things which I am about to mention now. I classify them as ego. Number 1. You blame people. According to the book of Romans chapter 2 verse 1, which says, "You, therefore, have no excuse, you who pass judgment on someone else. For at whatever point you judge another, you are condemning yourself, because you who pass judgment do the same things." You see, blame people. Their blame ego says, well, it's not my fault. It's the government's fault. It's the economy, right? It's the industry. It's my coworkers. It's my parents. They came from a dysfunctional family and that's why they will never become rich. Or it's the type of friends they have so they will never become rich. Or their supervisor is holding them back and that's why they can never become rich. See, the blame ego always says it's someone else's fault. They're always pointing fingers. And remember, when you're pointing your finger at someone else, one finger pointing out, 3 fingers are pointing back at you. Do you have this ego? Do you blame other people? Do you make excuses? If you do, then maybe the one that's holding you back is you. Number 2. The know-it-all ego. See, when I was broke I thought I knew it all. I thought I knew what I was doing. But clearly I didn't know anything. And that's the same with the know-it-all who always thinks they know everything. They keep doing the same thing again and again, thinking they've got the answer. And they expect a different result. Please note that no amount of prayers and fasting can make you become rich when you feel you know everything. You cannot be doing the same thing every day and expect different results. It does not work that way. For visiting, download 5 powerful Christian ebooks for free at www.olusholacoker.com for details. Continue listening. Number 3. The fearful ego. According to the book of Matthew chapter 6 verse 34, which says, "Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own." You see, what holds a lot of Christian back is fear. Fear of success, fear of failure, fear of making a mistake. They forget that with God, they have nothing to fear. You think about what you need to do, and before you do something, you're saying to yourself, well, what if it doesn't work? Or what if I lose money? And what if I make a mistake? Then what happens? What if I don't know what to do? What if I can't figure this out? The words what if, what if, what if, what if, are always on your mind. But what if it does work? You see, always remember, fear is an acronym. It stands for false evidence appearing real. It's nothing more than a made-up story in your own mind. So do you have the fearful ego holding you back? Number 4. The comfort zone ego. This ego says, I'm comfortable. I'm happy where I am. I'm content. Things are fine. You know, I don't need to be ambitious. Well, that's the problem is your income zone is your comfort zone. Let me repeat that. Your comfort zone is your income zone. When you get complacent, when you get comfortable, you're not growing. Remember, when you're not growing, you are dying. So do you have this ego that is holding you back right now? And what are you going to do about it? Will you make changes? If you step out of your zone of comfort, you will defeat this ego. Number 5. The judgmental ego. I want you to imagine this. You're walking down the street and suddenly you hear vroom vroom. And you see a red Jeep drive by. What's the first thought that goes through your mind? Many Christians think, who does he think he is? So cocky, so selfish, probably greedy. Actually, you know what? It's probably not his money anyways. It's his daddy's money. Or if it's a female driver, they think, that's a gold digger. Quote, he is a racialist and so on. All of this negativity is from judging other people. Many Christians are guilty of this. But my question is, how do people know what's really going on in other people's lives? Could these stories be made up? When Christians say, he's not that good, she is not that pretty, he is not that smart, they are judging other people. They're projecting their own insecurities, their own values onto other people. How do you know that man is not a hard-working man? How do you know he's not a good husband? How do you know he's not a family man? How do you know he's someone who's worked 20 or 30 years to get to where he is at this point? It's easy to judge and come to your own conclusions before even talking to that person. Do you see how the judgmental mind works? How will someone become successful or rich if that's the image that they have of people who are successful? Number 6 thing that you do that is not making you break through financially is the excuses ego. You see, you can make money, or you can make excuses, but you cannot do both. An excuse is nothing more than a well-planned lie. The excuses ego says, I can't afford it, I don't have money, or that's too far, or that's too difficult, or I don't have enough experience. It's always I can't, or I don't know how. You could have a million excuses why you cannot do something, but you only need one powerfully good reason why you must do it. Number 7. The people-pleasing ego. This ego says, I just want to make sure everybody's happy. Everybody's okay, right? Quote, it doesn't want to rock the boat. As long as everybody's okay, then this ego is okay. This ego tries to please people too much by always putting other people first. There's nothing wrong with that. But sometimes in life you have to put yourself first. Even when you're flying on an airplane, you should put on your own oxygen mask first before you help someone else. Sometimes in life you just have to put yourself first. You have to be a little bit selfish so you can be generous. If you're always putting your family and other people first, my question to you is, what about you? You might think you're so selfless, but people who constantly put others first could be selfish. That's the people-pleasing ego at play. Work on yourself first, so you can get to the stage where you have the energy and resources to help others. Put yourself first, and do it for yourself. But avoid the next ego, which gives you reasons for not doing something. Number 8. The justification ego. This ego justifies why you don't or can't do something. You're too young, too old, you're an immigrant that speaks with an accent, or you don't have enough experience. People with this ego can always come up with a reason. For example, it's too late, I'm married, I've got a husband, wife, kids, or I have made sacrifices for my kids, and I never wanted it anyway. That is a lie. When people say things like this, they are justifying their failures. Don't use your kids as an excuse. Use them as fuel, as your motivation for why you must do something, not why you can't do something. Stop justifying. Number 9 thing that is holding most Christian back from breakthrough financially is the jealous ego. Have you heard of sayings like this? Oh, rich people are greedy. They are selfish. Oh, you know what? It's not that big of a deal anyway. It's jealousy. People shouldn't criticize others for what they have not done or what they're not capable of doing. I've seen it on YouTube. People making judgments about other people posting bad videos. I don't care what they think. Why don't they go make a video themselves and upload it to YouTube? build their own channel and impact millions of people's lives until they've done it themselves. They shouldn't let this jealous ego hold them back. Continue listening. Number 10. The fake ego. There are people who are very good at putting on this mask. In one circumstance they can be one person, and in another scenario they can become a different person. And before you know it, years go by, and that fake ego doesn't know who they are anymore. They don't know which one is the reality. They've lost themselves. Be yourself. Everyone else is taken, so be yourself. I would rather people hate me for who I am than love me for who I am not. So don't use the fake ego. You don't need it to be successful. Number 11. The shy ego. The shy ego is an introvert who's not good with people. He or she doesn't like to talk. But that's just an excuse to stay in your own bubble, your own shell. Even now, sometimes when I go to meet a lot of people, I still have that little bit of awkwardness. It's normal, but I don't let that hold me back. I know that if I want to be more successful, if I want to be rich, I have to get outside of my comfort zone. I have to overcome my shyness in order to do what I do. So don't use your personality as an excuse to hold you back. Number 12. Other people's opinions ego. Be honest. Do you worry a lot about what people think of you? Do you worry about how people perceive you? You know you want to do something, but you're concerned about what will people think of your actions, even if deep down you know that's the right thing to do. If you don't do what you want, you have other people's opinions ego. People with this ego let other people's opinions stop them from doing what they know is right. Those other people could be family, relatives, friends. They could even be high school buddies. It doesn't matter. On social media, you might have uploaded a video and suddenly you're getting attention and you get a few haters. So you stop. But what you don't realize is, people don't care about you. Haters and trolls who add no value in your life post a comment and you stop doing what you believe is right because your feelings were hurt. You stop doing what is going to make you successful. Stop worrying about other people's opinions. It's just their opinions. Critics and haters are going to hate no matter what you do. Number 13. Do-it-yourself ego. The do-it-yourself ego says this: if you want something done, you've got to do it yourself. Why? Because other people will never do it as well as the way that you do it. You don't trust other people, so you just have to do it yourself. That is a form of ego that is holding you back. Nothing great is accomplished just with one person. It requires other people, and it requires teamwork. The do-it-yourself ego is probably one of the most common egos that hold most Christians back. It prevents most entrepreneurs from going to that next level because they are control freaks. They have this massive do-it-yourself ego that's holding them back. Please visit our website at www.alushaolacoker.com to access over 45 books we self-publish on Amazon.